Hi, I'm theciaellis and welcome to Grandma's Homestead. Alright, we are back in the kitchen and we're doing another recipe from Ingalls Wilder's country cookbook. And today we're going to make a macaroni casserole. And it sounds pretty good. My neighbor is excited about it, so let's get started. It's calling for, the meat it calls for is for diced leftover cooked meat or chicken or some lunch meat or anything like that. But we had some ground pork. We decided to go with that. We got breadcrumbs, canned tomatoes. We got only 8 ounces of macaroni, and it says to do bouillon cubes or chicken broth, and we're going to go with the chicken broth. And I've got an onion that I've chopped up here. And the recipe calls for green onion, and I forgot to do it. Oh, and a little bit of flour. So this is from Ingalls Wilder Country Cookbook, and I will have a link to it in the show notes, and you can order it through Amazon, and I would appreciate that. First thing I'm doing is preheating my oven to 375. In this pan here, this is what I've got. I'm going to cook the macaroni in this, and then we're going to start the pork in here. All right, we'll get this started. That shouldn't take long to warm up. Get some salt in the water. It's calling for butter to cook the onion in. So we'll get the onion started. Let's do a little bit of salt for that too to help it soften up. Okay, this is going pretty good, and in fact it's actually trying to start to brown a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and add the meat. Alright, our pork is almost browned. Our water is ready for the macaroni. Let this cook. I believe it was for about 8 minutes. While that's going, the recipe, and I forgot to tell you about this, called for a 1/4 cup of flour. Stir that in, let it cook a little bit. Alright, that's incorporated good. 2 cups of the chicken broth and the can of tomatoes. We'll let that simmer for a little bit while we're waiting for the macaroni. And now the instructions say to do 8 minutes. I did for 6 minutes because this is going to go in a casserole, and you don't want to overcook the macaroni. And it'll be absorbed by the liquid. I'm going to see if this pan is big enough to take all this. I did salt and pepper. I tasted the tomato mixture and add a little bit. I added about 1/4 teaspoon more salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and that was a good addition. So we're going to stir this all together. I've already greased my pan. Let's dump this in here. Making a mess. All right. Spread this out, make it look a little more even. It says about 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs on top. Alright, we're going to stick this in the oven for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes and till it's cooked all the way through and absorbed all the liquid, and the breadcrumbs on top are brown. So we'll wait for 30 minutes and let's come back and see how it looks. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. Let's pull it out and check it out. It's bubbly. I don't know that it was actually browning, but I knew it might not. That looks pretty good though. We're going to let it sit for a little bit. Let it cool anyway, if nothing else. I mean, we don't want to let it cool too much, but if you can see, it did soak up. The macaroni did soak up the tomatoes and the chicken broth. And we'll let this sit for a minute, then we'll dish it up. Alright, let's dish this up. Let's see what it looks like. That's interesting. You can see the ground pork in it, the macaroni, the tomatoes, the breadcrumbs on top. I'm going to put a touch of fresh parsley on it. It's still pretty warm, but I think we can give it a taste. We got a little bit of meat, and tomato, macaroni. That's better than I thought it was going to be. That's actually really tasty. This is one of those, man, with some good warm bread. Ooh. Oh yeah, that was tasty. I've never thought about calling anything like that a macaroni casserole. And like I said, it calls for if you had leftover chicken, if you had some lunch meat or something like that. The ground pork was pretty good. It'd be done good with beef. Whatever meat you put in it would be really good. The tomatoes give it a really nice flavor. Adding the pepper to it was a good idea too. And I don't know, that's something you might really enjoy. So I think you would like that. I'd like to remind you, if you look down the show notes, there's a little link down there that says buy me a coffee with my name after that. If you felt like leaving me a tip, I would appreciate it. I really would appreciate anything I could get for doing this. I love this work. I love doing all this stuff, but I also want to make some money somewhere down the right road too. So yeah, buy me a coffee at, well, I think it's /theciaellis, whatever it is. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm still looking into the next video. Well, I was looking at the world's best chicken pot pie that's in that book. It's like, it was like a 2-day long. I don't know if I want to do that one. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing next. And I'm still waiting for the kitchen over the other building to be cleared up after all the construction over there. So I don't have any idea what I'm going to do next. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. God bless. I'll see you next time.